Update video number 10. 350 has been safely and successfully removed from the truck. Here it is on the crane right now. This is the old 350 throttle body injection I'm pulling out, putting in the 383. Just a quick shot of the engine bay. Everything got pulled out. It was quite a job, to say the least. This truck has oil coolers, engine oil cooler and transmission cooler, of course, but a lot of things to disconnect and unhook. And the 4L80E transmission has 6 bolts that holds the torque converter on. I'm used to more like 3, and so everything on this thing's extra heavy duty. Everything was extra tight, oversized bolts and nuts, and so it was quite a bit of a job. So I'm going to clean up this engine bay, and I might put a little bit of paint on it in some areas just to freshen it up a bit. It's going to be probably a week or so before I'm ready to bring in the new engine. I'm waiting on an accessory drive kit for the front of my other, for the new engine. GM crate engine accessory drive kit, and that won't be here till December, and it's mid-November now. So anyway, here's a shot of the old 350 that came out. Broke my oil sender, which I was going to replace it anyway. That's a combination oil sender to the gauge and a switch for the fuel injection backup, fuel pump backup. So I'm going to be putting that back on because I'm going to be using the backup circuit to supply fuel to my carburetor from the in-tank pump. And looks like I'm going to have to probably reuse my flex plate. The 383 stroker that I got, it uses a late counterweighted flex plate from a late 350, so this should be fine. It's also got the 6 bolts to accommodate my torque converter on my 4L80E. But everything else I'm going to put on is new. I'll have new pulleys, and of course I have a harmonic balancer for the 383 that's counterbalanced for the application. So I'm going to go ahead and finish draining the fluids out of this. I'm going to recover my oil filter adapter for the new engine. So that adapter puts the filter at an angle like that, so it clears the front differential. And also it accommodates the oil cooler, which I'm going to be using. And I think I'm going to probably replace those hoses. I've already replaced them once before, but they are such a pain to get to, and I've had some leak before, so I'm going to go ahead and replace them. Also got a new power steering pump that comes with the accessory drive kit, and I'll probably put new hoses on that as well. I don't think I'm going to take a chance on much of anything because it's this truck is kind of hard to work on, especially when it comes to pulling the engine out. Everything else is pretty easy on it, but this is a job here. And so the fuel line's sticking up there. I think I'm going to redo those, of course. I'm going to come up in that same general vicinity with some AN hose and some AN fittings, and bring fuel up to my carburetor from the rear. Keep it away from the headers and the heat and everything. I've already sawed my factory crossover exhaust off. You can see just the pipe under there, just ahead of the catalytic converter. I just took a reciprocating saw and cut that off to have better access to get to the bolts on the transmission. And so the rear main on this other engine was leaking really bad, and you can see it. Oil's all over the torque converter and up inside the bell housing. So I'm going to clean that up real good too. And anything else, it's not in too bad a shape. It's a little oily and greasy up here, so I'm going to clean it out. And I have the electric fans coming for this that fit this truck, and I received them, and they're really really awesome looking fan, except it was bent, so I returned it to Summit to get replaced. It was bent on the bottom, and the blades wouldn't even turn, so I'm looking forward to getting that and checking it out. It bolts right in here with these bolts here that was used for the factory shroud. And then also I'm going to go ahead and pull the AC hoses and the receiver dehydrator off, and I'm going to be running an AC compressor bypass pulley for now. The AC wasn't working, and I want to go ahead and get the engine and get it running, and then I'll fix the AC later. But for now, when I put the engine in, I'm just going to put that pulley adapter on there and get things running and get my transmission working with my new controller, and go from there, fix any problems or anything. So I pulled this engine out with the chain. I have limited clearance here under my garage, and when I pulled the engine out of my Corvette, I was hitting the top of the garage with my crane. So I shortened up my chain, and then also I shortened up the chain was really long that came off the end of my crane, so I shortened it up, and this time I didn't have any problem with clearance. I was able to just jack it right up and pull it out without touching the top of the building here. Okay, so stay tuned for some more updates. I'll be getting this engine drained out, and I'm going to keep this, and maybe one day I'll turn it into a 383 or something. But for now, I'm just going to hang on to it and be dropping into 383 probably within a couple weeks here. So it's going to take a little bit of time. I need to clean up my garage. It's a mess as well. It takes every tool in the garage to take one of these engines out. Every single size of the bolts are different, and metric and English and everything else, so it just takes time. So stay tuned for more videos, and thanks for watching.